Tomato, and tomato once again. What's up, 23% Nation? This is your man, Coach D. Today, I'm back with fruit of the day, the one and only tomato. So maybe you prefer tomatoes in your salads. Maybe you prefer tomato paste on your pizza. Or maybe you're the type of person who is allergic to tomatoes. Well, whatever the case may be, please listen and watch on why, because we're about to dive just a little deeper into the wonderful world of the All right, first up, a little bit of background information. Botanically speaking, tomatoes are actually a fruit. I'll say that again. Tomatoes are actually a fruit and not a vegetable. In fact, technically, they're considered berries. Interesting. Tomatoes are a member of the nightshade fruit family, which also includes fruits like peppers and eggplants. So guys, I know that the average person thinks that tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants are all vegetables, but you got to understand something. They have seeds as well as an edible flesh. So whenever any plant food has seeds and an edible flesh, it is considered a fruit. Lastly, China, India, the US, and Turkey are now the leading growers of tomatoes worldwide. All right. Now, because tomatoes are so popular, I thought I'd give you a little more background information. So, background information continued. Types of tomatoes that are grown around the world include Roma, cherry, cocktail, San Marzano, Valencia, Kumaro, black creme, brandywine, beefsteak, grape, heirloom, Campari, Romanesco, tomatoes on the vine, Cherokee, and sun gold. Wow, that's a lot of different types of tomatoes. Well, take a look at the picture. So as you can see, not only do tomatoes have different names, but they also come in different shapes, different colors, and different sizes. Amazing. All right, time for a few fun facts. Aztecs and other peoples in the Mesoamerica area used the slightly sweet fruit in many diverse ways and even held tomatoes in high spiritual regard. Tomato seeds were believed to be blessed with powers of divination. Interesting. Now, guys, for those of us who are wondering where in the world is Mesoamerica, well, take a look at the picture. As you can see, it is south of Mexico and north of Central America, and it's bordered by the Gulf of Mexico on the east and the Pacific Ocean on the west. So there we have it, guys, a few fun facts about the one and only tomato. All right, once again, tomatoes are very popular, so I thought I'd give you a little more information than what you are accustomed to. So more fun facts. Ideally, choose organic tomatoes when possible. Whenever possible, purchase fresh, brightly colored, vine-ripe tomatoes. They hold a higher level of antioxidants and nutrients. Usually, the softer they get, the riper they are, and sweeter they taste. Is eating raw tomatoes good for you? Now, I know that a lot of people may wonder, should I eat cooked tomatoes or raw tomatoes? Well, here's the question. Yes, tomatoes can be eaten raw or cooked, and both have benefits. So there we go, guys. We now know the true answer as to whether or not we should eat raw or cooked tomatoes. All right, it's time for the not so fun facts. Although tomatoes come loaded with benefits, keep in mind that they are a nightshade fruit that can aggravate health conditions for some people. Green tomatoes in particular contain a substance called solanine or solanine, which may be aggravating to people with conditions like arthritis or some other autoimmune related diseases. Tomatoes are also usually avoided by people with GERD or other reflux disorders like heartburn because of their higher level of acid. So there we have it, guys. If, in fact, you have any type of autoimmune condition, arthritis, GERD, or any type of reflux disorder, you may want to do yourself a favor and reduce. Notice I didn't say eliminate, but I will say reduce your tomato consumption. So there we have it, guys, a few not so fun facts about the one and only tomato. All right, it's now time to talk about the 5-20 rule. Ladies and gentlemen, the 520 rule is all about food labels. That's right. It helps us to understand and read food labels. Ultimately, it's a guide. It's a guide that lets us know whether or not a food or beverage item is a good source or not a good source of any particular nutrient. Now, specifically when we talk about the 520 rule, ultimately we're talking about percent daily value, abbreviated percent DV. Now, let's take a look at our sample food label. As you can see, it is divided into three colored parts. We have the percent daily value column, which is a lavender, or some people may prefer to say a light purple. Then we have the yellow portion, and we also have the light blue portion. So at this time, we'll take colored portion by portion. First is a percent daily value column. Notice that percent DV is given to us in percentages. So basically, there's a scale that is as low as 0% to as high as 100%. Now, there are some cases where the percent DV for some nutrients may be in excess of 100%. Next is the yellow portion. Now, when we talk about the yellow portion, we're talking about saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, and sodium. Now, unfortunately, these nutrients do a really good job at promoting illness, sickness, and disease within the body temple. So if anything, you definitely want to make sure that the percent DV for these nutrients are as close to 0% as possible. Now, when we talk about the blue nutrients, when we talk about dietary fiber, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron, now we're talking about the nutrients that do just the opposite of the yellow nutrients. Rather than promote disease, they promote wellness and health within the body temple. So if anything, you want to make sure that your food and beverage items have percent DVs as close to 100% as possible. Now, what I want to do is be a little more specific about the 520 rule. So if a food or beverage item offers 0% to 9% DV of any nutrient, then that food or beverage item is considered not a good source of that particular nutrient. Next, if the food or beverage item offers 10% to 19% DV of any particular nutrient, then that food or beverage item is considered a good source of that particular nutrient. Lastly, if the food or beverage item offers 20% DV or greater, then that food or beverage item is considered an excellent source of that particular nutrient. So there we have it, guys, the ins and outs about the 520 rule. All right, now it's time to dive into the nutrition facts. Now, in a nutshell, when we talk about nutrition facts, ultimately what we're talking about are the medicines that are in the plant foods. So for today's lecture, we're going to say that a serving of tomatoes is equivalent to one medium red ripe raw tomato. Now, when we eat a serving of tomato, we're going to get 21.1 calories, not a whole lot, 4.8 grams of carbs, 1.1 grams of protein. Now, this just goes to show you that plant foods do have protein, although most people think that they don't. Also, we're going to get 0.2 grams of fat, 1.5 grams of fiber. Now, fiber is very important. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I call fiber nature's plumber. It helps to keep our tubes clean. Now, when it comes to vitamin C, a serving of tomato is going to offer us 26% DV. So basically, that means that a tomato is an excellent source of vitamin C. Now, vitamin A comes in at 20% DV, excellent source. Vitamin K comes in at 12% DV, good source. Now we have potassium coming in at only 8% DV, so it's not a good source of potassium. Next up is manganese coming in at 7% DV, so it's not a good source. Then we have vitamin B6 coming in at only 5% DV, as well as folate coming in at only 5% DV as well. So unfortunately, tomatoes are not a good source of vitamin B6 as well as folate. So there we have it, guys, the nutrition facts about the one and only tomato. All right, now it's time to dive into the health benefits of tomatoes. But before we do, I want to offer you just a little bit of wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I want to talk with you about the principle of cause and effect. Now, some of us may already be familiar with this principle. Why? Because it's one of these 7 hermetic principles. Basically, this principle states that every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. There really is no such thing as chance and or luck. Basically, everything happens for a reason. So, how do we tie in the principle of cause and effect with health benefits? Well, guys, it's simple. Here's what you got to understand is that when we talk about the health benefits, ultimately we're talking about the effects, whereas the nutrients are the causes. That's right. So what I want to do with you today is give you the cause first, and then I'll give you the effect first, and then I'll give you the cause. So benefit number one, tomatoes are loaded with cancer-fighting antioxidants. Now, which antioxidants in particular? Say hello to lycopene and phenolic acids. Next, tomatoes act as a natural anti-inflammatory. So, say hello to zeta-carotene, phytonine, and phytofluene. Interesting. Next up, tomatoes help improve heart health. So, say hello to lycopene and lutein. Then tomatoes help protect vision and eye health. Very important, especially for those of us who like to see. Say thank you to lutein and zeaxanthin. Next benefit is that it benefits the skin. So we can thank vitamin C and lutein for that. And lastly, tomatoes help protect our bone health. So we can thank lycopene, manganese, phosphorus, and vitamin K. So there we have it, guys, the health benefits of tomatoes. All right, now it's time to talk about food. Yes, plant foods, of course. Now, I did my research as I normally do on our go-to website for everything, which is forksoverknives.com. And I found two amazing vegan tomato recipes that I want to share with you right now. So the first one is Greek-style stuffed tomatoes. Take a look at the picture. Looks amazing. Now let's take a look at our second recipe, which is red lentil loaf with smoky tomato sauce. So, as you can see, the picture makes your mouth water. Now, if you are at all interested in making one or maybe both of these recipes, all you have to do is go to the description box. In the description box, I am providing you with a direct link to these recipes. That's right, forksoverknives.com. Now, here's the good news, is that I'm going to provide you, or shall I say it will provide you with a lot of great information, such as instructions, cooking time, as well as an ingredient list. So, if you're inclined, please go to the description box, click on the link, make it, taste it, and come back to the video and let me know exactly how it tastes. So there you have it, guys. Not one, but two amazing vegan tomato recipes from forksoverknives.com. All right, 23% Nation, I hear you. A lot of you say, well, Coach D, thanks for the fun facts. Coach D, thanks for the nutrition facts. And I even appreciated the not so good facts, right? But the real question is, when should I eat more tomatoes? Well, for those of us that are asking, guys, I got to tell you that the perfect day, and I do mean the perfect day to eat more tomatoes, is Nature Day. What? Nature Day? Yes, good old Nature Day. Now, let's talk a little more about Nature Day. Nature Day happens to be the first day of the 23% challenge. Now, you may be wondering, what in the world is the 23% challenge all about? Well, guys, in a nutshell, the 23% challenge is a monthly 7-day wellness program that is designed to help improve your health, your wealth, your relationships. Oh, and it also helps to save good old planet Earth. Now, here's the interesting thing about the challenge is that number one, it's monthly, meaning every month. And number two, it's the first 7 days. That's right, the first week of every single month. Now, being that Nature Day is the first day of the challenge, that means that Nature Day is the first day of every month. So, whether it's January 1st, March 1st, or even September 1st, it's always Nature Day. All right. Now, for those of us who are intrigued, for those of us who are motivated and maybe even inspired, right, to eat more plants, or maybe you're the type of person who has one of the big four, right? Obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, or maybe you have cancer. Or maybe you have some type of skin condition or some type of digestive issues, and maybe you're looking for a natural holistic remedy. Well, guys, this is it. Now, I do understand that baby steps are important. So for those of us who are looking to become more healthy holistically, then I want to offer you 4 avenues that I believe can help make this transition to a whole food plant-based diet easy. First up is to try to become a 3% vegan. Now, what does that mean? It simply means that you, man, woman, or child, can only eat plant foods and drink only water only 1 day out of an entire month. Now, next is a 10% vegan. What is a 10% vegan? It's any person, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only 3 days out of an entire month. Next up is a 17% vegan. That's any person who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only 5 days out of an entire month. And lastly is a 23% vegan. Now, some people may say, well, Coach D, aren't you a 23% vegan? And the answer would be yes. Now, what do I eat for the first 7 days of every month? It's easy. I only eat from the 5 food groups of plant foods, which happen to be fruits, vegetables and herbs, legumes, meaning beans and peas. Then we have nuts and seeds, and we cannot forget about whole grains. And then, of course, I only consume water. So there we have it, guys. 4 avenues to help make your transition to a plant-based diet easy. All right, now it's time for Coach D's tips. Guys, I want to offer you a little bit of help, a little bit of assistance. Why? Because I want your Nature Day to be successful. So here's my first tip. Go to your local grocery store. Now, when you get there, you're only really going to go to 2 places. The first place that you're going to go to is the produce section. Why the produce section? Well, because that's where you're going to find all of your fresh plant foods. The second place that you're going to walk over to is the freezer aisle. Why the freezer aisle? Well, that's where you're going to find all of your frozen plant foods. Now, a lot of people may ask, all right, Coach D, what's the difference or what's best, fresh versus frozen? Well, believe it or not, the nutrient content of fresh versus frozen is pretty much the same. My recommendation would be to go with the frozen options if you're the type of person who delays eating your plant foods. However, if you're the type of person who likes to gobble them up, then go ahead and opt for the fresh variety. Tip number 2. Now, while you're in the grocery store, walk on over to the prepared dishes section. Now, when you get over there, talk to the person behind the counter and ask them if they have any vegan, not vegetarian, but vegan options. Ask for a quick sample. They'll give it to you. And then either purchase your food by the pound or maybe even 2 pounds if you really, really like it. Tip number 3, go visit your local farmer's market. Now, this is for those of us who have to eat organic plant foods, right? Well, the good thing about farmers markets is that they cater to the organic market. So if you must have organic plant foods, then definitely do a little bit of research, starting with Google, to locate local farmers markets. They are amazing. Tip number 4, go visit a vegan restaurant. Now, the major benefit about visiting vegan restaurants is that they hire vegan chefs. That's right. Vegan chefs not only know how to cook plant foods, but they also know which plant foods to combine together to give us the most nutritious, delicious dishes. That's right, guys. So please do a little research on Google, type in vegan restaurants near me, and within less than half of a second, Google will give you your desired results. Now, do me a little favor. When you get to the restaurant, do 2 things. Number 1, order something with tomatoes. And number 2, let them know that Coach D sent you. And my last tip to help make your Nature Day successful is to subscribe to a vegan meal prep company. Now, these companies are very easy to work with. They make it, they deliver it, you eat it. It's just that simple. So there you have it, guys. 5 amazing tips to help make your Nature Day successful. All right, it's time for our question of the day, which comes from yours truly and the rest of the 23% nation. We have inquiry minds. So today's question is a true or false statement. And it is, tomatoes are vegetables. Now, please do me a huge favor and put your answer in the comment box below. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. I definitely want to thank you for listening. Also, please remember, eat well, feel well, think well, do well, be well. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, especially if you love tomatoes. And don't forget to use our 3-word mantra. It's hashtag eat more plants. As I stated earlier, my name is Coach D. I'm signing out, but always remember to take care, God bless, and never ever forget that Coach D loves you.